never thought I'd see the day. Gibson Les Paul, made in China. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Man, we've got some interesting things to unbox for this episode. A Gibson Les Paul, officially made in China. Obviously, there's something a little bit more to this than meets the eye, but before we get into all this fun stuff, let's have a word from our sponsor of today's giveaway of a virtual item.
Introducing Raid Shadow Legends, a turn-based RPG available on your phone. This new game has nearly 15 million downloads in the past 6 months, spreading rather quickly. So what exactly do you do in this game? Raid allows you to collect different champions, which are the characters you progress the story with, to assemble your favorite powerhouse team. Each champion has a certain set of skills, but you can also equip items later on to customize them and make them stronger while you explore the 13 spectacular locations within the game and listen to the fully voiced story campaign. If that's not enough for you, you can also play Raid with friends cooperatively in a clan or against each other in the PvP arena. And the best part, it's free to play. It really only takes a couple minutes to download it from the App Store. That's all it's gonna cost you. Other awesome features of the game include multi-battle auto mode. You no longer have to do the tedious grinding level up sessions yourself, so you can use that grinding time to develop your teams. You can also join weekly tournaments and events, such as special duels in the arena, or run through limited edition dungeons to level up your heroes. The game is growing fast. If you want proof, just check out this new roadmap they published, and it's still expanding and has plans to be much larger within the next 6 months. I personally really like that the developer isn't just letting this game sit around like sometimes they'll do. You'll never run out of things to do on this game. You can find my profile as Unboxer, because some jerk already took Trog. What's up with that? So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special link, and you will get 50,000 silver and a free Epic Champion as part of the new player program to start your journey.
So yeah, if you like mobile gaming and stuff, definitely check them out. But now, let's get in to the Gibson Les Paul from China. So these were a limited edition from 2015, right? And I mean, I think you can tell by here, it's not a Les Paul. It's still technically a Les Paul. But these are not actually musical instruments. They're for hearing your musical instruments. And I actually found these because, well, they didn't sell too well. And it seems that we're just now starting to see some price cuts on these guys to the point where it's like, it's almost a no-brainer that you want to buy these just because, you know, they're slightly collectible in their own right, but I just needed myself a good set of reference monitors. And I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about reference monitors. I just know that a lot of people will tell you you need these. If you're mixing on headphones or doing any type of editing and stuff, you need these things. I'm wondering if I like my 2-Notes Torpedo setup better once I have these guys instead of, you know, listening to it through headphones. Looks like we've got our instruction manual here. Oh wow, that's yellowed quite a bit. Wonder if they were like that originally or not. Yeah, this smells like it was made in China, definitely. It smells like a glary guitar. Not quite sure the best way to actually pull this thing out. Okay, it's not quite as heavy as I thought it'd be. You know, judging by the size of the box, it's not actually that big. So yeah, it's a very fancy looking studio monitor with a flamed maple top. Yeah, they're kind of goofy looking, but I figure these things, I think they're originally a couple $1,000, and I picked these things up 500 bucks. And that's for both. It's not 500 bucks each. Even that, I think, is too much. It was $250. I can't believe it. So you could definitely check these things out on Reverb. I'll leave a link in the description because even if you don't need the full 8-inch monitors, I know there's 2 separate ones that are smaller and they're even cheaper. I mean, these are just prices where it's like, you might as well, right? They've even got this whole binding thing going on. And no, it's not clickbait. It is officially branded Les Paul right there on the speaker. These are just kind of doofy. But these are from 2015, so you also have that little sticker of Les Paul waving at you, just like the Les Pauls, like the instruments had. And they numbered these as the 2015 limited edition. It looks like this is 333. I think this one's like 343. Yeah, you can see the number right there. But it looks like we have volume controls, which probably be helpful. You can choose to add or cut from the bass as well as the treble. Yeah, we've got all this other good stuff. And you even get this giant bag. I know it's a dust cover, but you could use this for a bunch of stuff like Halloween trick-or-treating. It just says Gibson Les Paul on it. Huh. Except for you have this hole right here. I mean, I think that's supposed to be there, but it's not like at the bottom of the bag. You could use this even as a pillow cover if you really wanted to. I'm interested to see what this other one looks like, because, you know, with it being a real maple front on these things, some will be like heavily flamed, some will be not so much. I mean, this one, what would you guys rate that? I would say it's like at least an A. I mean, it's nothing fantastic by any means. Now that's interesting. So this one has a black cover that says remove, whereas that one did not. So that almost tells me that was like a floor model or something. And despite being the same color, you can tell this one has a much more cherry border on it, so it almost annoys me because they're very clearly not the same color despite supposed to be the same color. But I would say I'm definitely happier with the flame on this one. But I'll have to let you guys know how I feel about these after I've used them for a little bit. So I'll either do that in a future episode or we'll talk about it at the end of this one. Now let's move on to something a little bit more normal. It's been kind of a strange episode so far, right guys? Reference monitors, video games. But now we've got a guitar. I started unboxing this before, but, you know, package delivery. So I'm just redoing this. Probably not necessarily going to do a review on. It's more of just hey, I need a nice guitar in my shop type thing. But this was for sale by, I think it's just like a husband-wife team. It's something they're doing new on the side. Apparently they lost their butt on this guitar. It's not always fun in games if you don't know what you're doing. That's why if you're somebody who wants to become a guitar dealer just so you can have access to all these cool guitars, get to play them, I suggest specializing in one thing and not just, you know, trying your hand out in Fender, Gibson, PRS. Actually understand one brand completely and then start branching out once you're comfortable and, like, you know, the markets and things like that. Because it can be tricky to, you know, learn new markets. So here we go. Generation 3 chainsaw case. You know there's going to be something at least decent in here. The 80s was a very interesting time for Gibson history. Oh. Okay, so this was sold to me as all original. However, I knew right away that that could not possibly be true. Somebody's definitely swapped out the plastics on this one. I mean, it's potentially possible that you could find a cherry sunburst color like this that actually has the cream plastics, but most times they're black. But it's a popular modification to swap them because it gives them a completely different vibe. I mean, this looks cool to me now. But those knobs are 1000% modern. There's nothing vintage about those. But what is kind of cool, we have the 3-point adjust bridge. That's a very shortly lived part. And the other thing that I thought was cool, we have the flip out winding tuners. I love these things. They're definitely very fun. Oh, there we go. I guess we do have the original parts in here. I just wish we had the pick guard. I accidentally started doing this one for Trade Tuesday, thinking it was the Trade Tuesday guitar. But it has not been properly unboxed yet, so let's go ahead and finish this up here. That's a lot of packing material. Good job. This is another one for our Fender Friday series, which I've been having a lot of fun checking out these new guitars. I mean, they're mainly Rarity series guitars so far, but I'm starting to branch out and understand the Fender market a bit more of these, like the limited edition ones. So this is a guitar, if I remember correctly, he was a fan of the show. He was trying to sell a Steve Stevens amp. It was like a $5,000 amp. I'm not that big of an amp guy, so I passed on that. But this Telecaster, I thought, why not? But this is actually a telly that I knew about previous to this guy sending it to me because another YouTuber actually bought one of these not that long ago. And it's kind of similar to another model that I've reviewed previously. Wow, this looks better in person. That flame top's pretty good on this one. But it's kind of like that Tough Dog telly that we did. It's a Fender made in Japan, so it's my first Japanese Fender that I remember having anyways. But it looks like we've got some cool modifications to this over a regular Telecaster, so I'm looking forward to reviewing it. But wow, this neck. This is the chunkiest Fender neck I've ever felt. Man, there's so much Fender content in this episode, it might as well be a Fender Friday episode. So, as I was doing that video for the neck swapping, both of the Stratocasters ended up selling that very same day. So I got this offer early in the morning, I countered it with the best I could do. I didn't know if I was going to hear back from the guy or not. That's kind of how selling is half the time. You counter the offer and then you never hear from the buyer again. But this time it worked out. It seems from my phone conversations with him, he's building a collection of these Rarities series guitars. He's got a few other ones coming in from Sweetwater, but this one was available right now and I was able to get him a better price than they could on a new one. So I think everything worked out for him. But just as like a final word on this one, I think I preferred this Stratocaster over the other one as far as the way that it felt and played and sounded. And now we have to pack up that other Stratocaster too. I think the thing with this one, even though I think playability-wise I preferred the other one, I think this one just needs a better setup on it. But the neck is a million times better on this one. The all rosewood neck, fretboard, all combined. This one felt a lot better to me as compared to that matted over maple one. But it only took about 2 to 3 weeks to sell both of these guitars. So that's kind of helped install some confidence in my mind. Because if you want to know the reason why I've never dealt too much with the Fender guitars, it's simply because the few that I did try, I got hung with them for like a year and I couldn't give them away after I bought them. That's part of being successful on my show, is I have to be able to move the inventory after I do the reviews as well. So it's definitely fun checking out these Rarities Stratocasters. Hopefully I can do some more of the Telecasters from this series as well. Now we've got to say goodbye to this guitar. I'm so happy I bought this thing. I mean, it's kind of a freak of an SG, but most of you enjoyed it. I mean, there's a few party poopers out there. But I felt this thing desperately needed some sort of story, and I bet my story that I made up wasn't that far off from the truth. There's a few people saying that this reminded them of like a Grand Funk, the guitar that guy was using, and there were a few other ones that this kind of resembles. But you know, it's just kind of a weird bean shape. Some people don't even see how it was an SG at one point in time. I think they did an okay modifying this guitar. And some people were quick to judge my price, but I mean, it sold very quick. And it's going to the perfect guy. It's only about an hour away. His name is Mr. Coffin. Like, that's his legitimate last name, Coffin. So, oh, also, this was identified as a vintage Ibanez Roadstar case. So, I don't know, maybe this even has some value to it. But essentially, the reason why this thing is still even worth $1,000, despite being modified, is all the vintage parts that's still on it. This guitar took 2 years to find, but only 1 day to sell. That was my Instagram caption for the Dark Wine Burst Les Paul Custom. Now, I did that standard a few years ago, but it wasn't quite the same as this true Dark Wine Burst, because it's got that nice dark outline. If nothing else, I hope other people realize this finish is out there, and it just makes them find one for themselves, because this is kind of that cool, rare 90s finish that I think will become extremely valuable in the future. And if not extremely valuable, at least more collectible than the other ones. The hard part is just getting people to know about them. I remember the first day that I stumbled upon this, I was looking up the Les Paul Goddess series, the purple Les Pauls, because there's one of these that has that really dark outline, and then it's kind of almost more of a purple hue right here, so that's why that one showed up. So I'm not sure if that was a custom order or what, but photos of it do exist online.
Thank you for tuning into this boxing unboxing episode, and we will see you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.